Brit 1 Mega or the Brit 1 Mini? What's the difference and which one is best for you? How's it going, everybody? This is Andy with AskMeLiVapes.com. Today we're going to be doing a little comparison video between the Brit 1 Mega Starter Kit and the Brit 1 Mini Starter Kit. So right away we're going to run through a few of the key differences in these two devices, then we're going to dive down close, take a look at them up close, see a little of the differences up close, then we're going to bring it back up top, have a vape on each of them, show you the difference in vapor production, flavor, all that good stuff, and then we'll wrap it up with my thoughts on these two guys, and hopefully I'll be able to help you make a decision if you are choosing between the Mega and the Mini. So starting off right with the basics, SMOK says the Mega is made for more vapor production and then the Mini is made for more of a flavor tank. So they're saying that you're going to get more vapor production out of this and you're going to get better flavor out of this one. Now the second main difference between these two, at least in my opinion, is going to be the battery size. The Mega has a 2000 milliamp hour battery while the Mini has a 1600 milliamp hour battery. So there's a 400 milliamp hour difference in between the two. That is something you might want to take note of if you are going to be vaping a lot and you don't want to have to charge your device multiple times throughout the day. You might want to opt for the bigger battery, which is the Mega, coming in at 2000 milliamp hours. The third thing with the biggest difference between these two, at least in my opinion, is going to come down to the size. As you guys can see here, you'll see better in the close-up though, they are pretty much the same height, but the width is 2.5 millimeters different. The Mega has a 24.5 millimeter diameter and the Mini has a 22 millimeter diameter. We'll be able to see that better in the close-up though here in a second. The last big difference between these two is going to be the coils that it comes with. The Mega comes with 0.4 ohm coils, which are rated from 20 to 50 watts, and then the Mini comes with 0.6 ohm coils, which is rated from 15 to 25 watts. And the coils in both of these, they are both Kanthal and they are both dual coils. All right, now let's dive down, take a real quick look at these two. There's not too much to look at. I did cover what these kits come with in their each respective videos. I did cover this one completely, and I did cover the Mini as well in a full video. Alrighty, so here we have the Brit 1 Mega Starter Kit on the left and the Brit 1 Mini Starter Kit on the right. When I have them lined up side by side right here, you can see they pretty much are the same height. The drip tip on the Brit 1 Mini does add a little bit more height. You can see it probably goes over there by about maybe a ½ inch compared to the Brit 1 Mega. The main size difference, in my opinion, at least the noticeable size difference, is the 24.5 millimeters compared to 22 millimeters. And I know 2.5 millimeters does not sound like a big difference, but here you can see it when you're looking at it from the above angle. It does actually add a decent amount of size. Not that the Mega is not like hand friendly, pocket friendly, it definitely still is, but it does add a little bit of girth to it. But that might be something you are looking for. You might like that little bit of heavier, a little bit of girthier style mod. Real quick, we'll just touch on it again. The battery in this one, 1600 milliamp hours compared to the 2000 milliamp hours on the Mega. So not a huge difference there, but there is a little bit. Now the tanks here, at least performance wise, I'd say is where the biggest difference is. It is pretty hard to see, but on the Mega, airflow slot is a decent amount bigger than on the Brit 1 Mini. Here's the Mini's airflow slots right here. Side by side here, you can see the Mega just does have a tad bit more airflow on the adjustable airflow slots. Performance wise though, the airflow and the drip tip, the combination of those two, the tad bit larger airflow on the Mega and the tad bit smaller on the Mini, and then the drip tips is what causes the noticeable difference in performance other than the different coils in both of these. We've got the Mega drip tip on the right and the Mini on the left. The Mega is a shorter, stubbier, wider bore drip tip compared to the tighter, slimmer, more elongated drip tip on the Mini. That is going to make a little bit of difference in performance of these. It's not going to make a extremely noticeable difference between the performance out of the two, but it will be responsible for a little bit of it. As you guys just saw there, both those drip tips are removable, so you can put whatever drip tip you would like on there. If you don't like this coned cylinder shape style that SMOK has on these two, you can pop it out, put your own 510 drip tip in there without a problem. That's pretty much going to wrap it up on the close-up. If I missed something in the close-up here, please let me know down in the comments and I'll be happy to get back to you. For now, let's bring it back up top and have a vape on these two guys. All right, now that we've got the close-up out of the way, let's go ahead and have a vape on them. Let's go ahead and start off with the Brit 1 Mega, which has got the 0.4 ohm, and this one is known for the cloud production. And for this portion, I am going to have the airflow open all the way on both of these tanks. Let's go ahead and have one more. Now let's go ahead and have a vape on the Brit 1 Mini Starter Kit. I think it was pretty clear there that the Mega does have a little bit better vapor production, but not by much. I do have the same e-liquid in both these. I've got the Mokuwatsu white gummy. This one right here, if you guys can see that, it sort of has like an orangish tint, but it is still the white gummy bear in here. That's just the e-liquid I had in there before. I had some of that Mr. Macaroon in here before, so that was on the Coils, and that's what gave it this tint. But I do have the same e-liquid in here. Let's go ahead and have one more on each of these. So there again, you can see that there is more vapor production out of this guy, the Brit 1 Mega, and that is what it is supposed to do according to SMOK. It's supposed to be the one with more vapor production. And it's also got a 0.4 ohm coil in there compared to the 0.6 ohm coil in the Brit 1 Mini starter kit. Now the vapor production is not that much noticeable. On the first inhale on the Brit 1 Mini, I do notice it is a lot less, but once that coil starts getting worked up, and then on the second one, it's pretty close to the Brit 1 Mega starter kit. That being said though, I don't notice too much of a flavor difference between these two. I do know that the Brit 1 Mini does have a little bit of a tighter airflow, but not by much, and that might actually just come down to the actual drip tips that are on here. The Brit 1 Mega starter kit has a much larger diameter wide bore drip tip than the Brit 1 Mini starter kit, which has a smaller diameter drip tip on here. And like you guys did see in the close-up, obviously this one does have larger airflow slots on here, so there is going to be more, and they are very similar. It's just that this drip tip is made for more of that flavory draw, lower wattage, more of a mouth to lung style, higher nicotine, and this one's made for more of a lower nicotine, direct lung inhale type of vape. So if you're picking between these two, that's going to be up to you to decide. What are your biggest factors? If you're vaping on like a 12 milligram nicotine, like that's what I personally vape on, I would say you're going to want to go with the Mini, just because it is not going to be nearly as harsh than if you go with this at 12 milligrams. On the Mega with 12 milligrams, it is going to be pretty overwhelming with that 0.4 ohm coil in here, the larger airflow, and just more of a cloud functioning device. So I would say that is the biggest thing to look for, is what style of vapor are you. I don't think the flavor is leaps and bounds above better on this one like they do say. Just like I don't think the vapor production on the Mega is leaps and bounds better like they say. If you're sort of in the middle of the road and you want a good mix between flavor and vapor production, I guess the next thing that would come down to is size. Would you rather have the 22 millimeter diameter setup, which is the Mini, or would you rather have the 24.5 millimeter setup, which is the Mega? Again, for me personally, I feel like the Mini just sits a little bit better in the, obviously because it has got 2.5 millimeters less on the diameter. You might like the larger grip, so that's also something you're going to want to take into consideration. Overall, you can't really go wrong with either of these. If you saw the individual reviews on both of these, they really didn't have any noticeable cons that were deal breakers at all. They're both very good devices. They both perform great. They both have their pros and cons. Larger battery life on this one, a little bit better cloud production, smaller size, more pocket friendly on this one, a little bit better flavor production. If you guys have any questions on either of these two kits or any vapor related questions in general, please leave a comment down below and I will be happy to get back to you. And if you guys did enjoy this video, please be sure to leave a thumbs up and subscribe. It is greatly appreciated. And as always, I hope you guys have a wonderful day and vape on.